Today we're talking condiments. You're stuck on a desert island. You're allowed one condiment. Which is it to be? John in Sproston.
Ketchup.
Harry in Bodham.
Mustard.
Kev in Norwich.
Gravy.
That's not a condiment, it's a hot sauce.
Bristol then.
That's a brand of gravy.
Bronson pickle then.
And that's a relish. It's 8 minutes to 12 in less than 1 hour.
Mustard.
Myself and sidekick Simon
Man the barricades.
will come face to face with one of the most beautiful women in the world.
Anthea Turner.
Anthea the Body Turner.
Ooh. You like her, do you then, Alan?
What man doesn't? Seriously, what man doesn't?
Oh, no, hardly any.
Exactly. She...
Stevie Wonder.
or Ray Charles.
Any blind man.
Yeah. She is the Ford Escort Cabriolet of middle-aged women. Sleek, petite, a little bit racy.
0% finance available.
It doesn't even make sense. But it's still funny, still surreally funny. Which is why we booked you.
Power steering.
By the way, please don't text in. The woman/car thing is exclusively for myself and sidekick Simon. We're just doing that. So what's that word you used?
Riffing.
We're riffing. We're jamming.
Yeah. Well, riffing.
Yeah. I can say it's always like this, isn't it?
It is,
we had brunch.
I had lunch
on Sunday. Yeah. You had lunch because I would turn up at about 11:30.
Yeah, I know. I pitched up about 12:10.
He puts up at 12:30, like blooming rolls in like Lord
Vader,
Lucan, and what did you order?
I had the Thai fish cakes.
Yeah, that's right.
You sat there stuffing
No,
yourself.
don't tell me what I had. I had the. I had. Can't remember. You're listening to North Norfolk Digital with Alan Partridge. No, it's gone.
You right, Alan?
Yeah.
Yep. Thought I'd lost you there. Away with the fairies.
There's only one fairy in here.
Yeah, I'm looking right at him.
Hey, you cheeky tit! This is great banter. It really is. So anyway, there we were having lunch, brunch. Call it. What do you call lunch and brunch when they're combined? What's it?
Blunch. Is it a blunch?
That's excellent. Really good.
And I'd got the supplements, hadn't I?
We spread the supplements out on the coffee table, and I think we had a bit of a tussle over the motoring section.
We did a bit. We locked horns.
We grappled.
We did. We wrestled for.
Well,
them.
we didn't wrestle, but you gave me a bag of crisps, didn't you?
Yes.
Cheesy onion, cheese and onion.
Cheese and onion.
And now normally when I open a packet of crisps, I open them at the top, but Simon showed me a technique whereby you splice the packet down the side, lay it flat, and share the contents.
Hippie style.
And I think, in all seriousness, it was at that point that I realised that here was a guy who's prepared to push the envelope.
Cheers.
Oh. I'd love to see you open an envelope, probably do it in a very unconventional way.
Okay, I've come up with a top 10 list of things not to say to a customs officer.
Time for travel update with Chris Gifford. Kippers, that's what I had.
A baby leopard seal there called Silas. And Silas is one of the stars of Ice Pups, a new documentary following a pack of leopard seals over one Antarctic winter.
Hydrogeleptonics, to use the Latin term. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of reading, so...
Someone's very keen.
Yeah, well, I'm keen. I'm keen to give of my best. Here to tell us more about these mustachioed mammals is the show's creator, Alice Clunt. Welcome.
Oh, it's Alice Fluck.
Right, I see what I've done.
So, Alice, this isn't your first time getting close to the animal kingdom, is it? Once upon a time, you were shortlisted in the Shell Wildlife Photographer of the Year competition.
Many moons ago, yes.
The oil company Shell.
They used to sponsor it, yes.
Well, do you know what? Good for them. I mean, they get a lot of stick, don't they, for the Exxon Valdez oil spill. But then they sponsor a prize for animal photos, and you think, maybe it's time to take a fresh look at Shell.
But tell us about ice pups, because leopard seal pups really are the most incredible animals, aren't they?
They really are, Jenny. I mean, what you see in the pups and hopefully in the film is their spirit and their personality. Because don't forget, these guys are living in the most inhospitable place in the whole world. You know, they are tough.
You do not want to mess with a leopard seal. Well over a ton, teeth like giant daggers, top speed of 20 knots. A German U-boat commander would kill for velocity like that. Awesome.
Well, what you see in the film, they do have this wonderfully playful side as well.
And how? They toss penguins around like a rag doll and batter them against the sea till they're dead. Just wait for it. For fun. Brutal.
Well, they're mischievous, certainly. And that comes from just being so intelligent.
Well, the Allies trained them to deliver mines strapped to their backs to scuttle enemy craft in harbour. Boom. Successful.
We don't really touch on that on this film. This film is more about them in infancy and adolescence, and hopefully it's one the whole family can enjoy.
Wrong tone.
Wow, they're plucky little so-and-sos, though, aren't they?
They have to be. You know, they're only weaned for a month, and then it's up to them to fend for themselves.
Oh, breaks your heart, doesn't it?
When you're around them such a long time, it is hard not to get attached.
Oh, I think I'm a bit in love.
Oh.
Bless them. They're the most adorable little creatures. They seem to have such personality.
You almost want to give them a name.
Well,
don't you?
this one's called Silas.
Yeah, but I know. I mean, a better one, though, like Richard. Oh, I don't know whether to eat him up or wear him. Do you know what I mean, though? I suppose Eskimos do both.
Well, you find leopard seals in the Antarctic.
Falklanders, then.
Now, Alice, the film ends with the sound of a seal cry, and it's quite a sound, isn't it? Actually, let's hear it.
It's not a sound you forget.
No.
When I heard that, I had an overwhelming sense of Gary Newman. And you know the other musician I was thinking of? Don't know why. Seal. I do know why.
It almost sounds sort of philosophical, doesn't it?
I don't think that's the right word, Jenny. I think it's remindful. It reminded me of my granddad.
Did it?
Yeah. He made funny noises and he had whiskers and he liked fish. He was a smashing granddad. One of my earliest memories, actually, is him taking me to the fun fair, and me asking for a candy floss, and then eventually he gave in and got me one, and took me home, said goodbye, but left his hat. And when I ran to the bus stop, he wasn't there. And I saw he was walking up the hill. That's when I realised he'd spent his bus fare on my candy floss. Grandad Graham. Grandad.
And you can see the whole of Alice's film on BBC One tomorrow night.
Alice Clant.
Fluck.
Fuck.
Fluck.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Spanning the length of the alphabet from A to Z, it's Alan and Zoe.
But mainly Alan. You listen to Mid-Morning Matters with Alan Partridge and my little pocket ray of sunshine, Zoe Scott.
Speaking of sunshine, Alan, have you treated yourself to a sunbed last night?
No.
What about a spray tan?
I don't think so.
Morning, everyone. You're listening to MMM with ZS and AP or ZAP.
You've got such a lovely, engaging way with people. You really have. Seriously, it really is very commendable.
Thank you.
Okay,
So, coming up, we've got...
Do you know what? We are like an old married couple.
Yeah, pretty soon we'll be bickering all the time. You know, you'll be drinking too much.
Hey, yeah, and then you'll get jealous of my career and run off with a fitness instructor. No thanks. Been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Well, she got the T-shirt. Got the shirt off her back. Really did. Fucking witch.
Well, I just found that when she strayed from historical fact into the realms of conjecture, I was all too aware of the author's hand, and that took me out of the story. Apart from that, I thought it was a very good first effort.
Yeah, I've got to say, I'm a little surprised, Crispin. I found that Mantle's main characters are scorchingly well rendered. And the sharp-clawed machinations are presented with non-stop verve in a book that can compress a wealth of incisiveness into a very few well-chosen words.
That's just word for word what it says on the back of the book.
That's my book of the week. That's Hilary Mantle's Wolf Hall. Oh, can't wait to get my teeth into that. It sounds great. Oh, do you know what? If I'd known you were going to wear this kind of pink, I mean, I know enough about colour to know this pink clashes with that pink. Correct?
Not clash. It's
Well,
just not quite the same.
This is raspberry, definitely.
Yeah.
How would you describe that?
I would say that's like strawberries and cream.
It is like that's it. It's like iced strawberry. It's like a strawberry milkshake.
Yes, it is. It's
I
like
would drink you dry. I would drink you dry.
very good.
I'm down to your boots.
Oh, God. Okay.
Can I have another? I'm still thirsty.
Alan, you do really remind me of my dad. You know, you'd really like him.
Well, I love dads. I am a dad. I've got a dad. Well, I had a dad.
Oh, what was he like?
What was he like, my dad? I remember one birthday he bought me this big red cake in the shape of...
Space rocket?
no,
Train?
no...
Football?
No, it was a rectangle. And I remember he came up and said, "Delivery for Mr. Partridge." I was so excited. I banged into the table and, oops, the cake went everywhere. My dad walked up to me in his blue 60s drainpipe suit with a red bow tie he insisted on wearing, and he said, "You will never amount to anything." He said, "You're that to me." Imagine saying that to a 7-year-old kid.
Alan, that's terrible.
That's not the end of the story, because as he turned round to storm off, he slipped on the cake, legs went flying, banged his head, and he needed 11 stitches. And I was glad. This is a little itty-bitty of Scritty Politty.